The man casually tossed a few copper coins into the air. The girl instantly leapt up with grace and precision. Before the coins could hit the ground, she pierced each one with her sword midair. The crowd erupted in applause at the stunning display. But this scene angered the young prince watching from the balcony. He flew down in a flash and loudly challenged the girl to a duel. The girl, disgusted by his arrogance, drew her sword without a word and charged at him. She only used a fraction of her strength to teach him a lesson. But the prince mistook her restraint for weakness. Lusting after her beauty, he tried to take advantage. The girl, now furious, unleashed her 7-kill sword technique and wounded the prince's arm with a single strike. The man immediately knelt to apologize on her behalf, but the prince kicked him aside in disdain. Seeing her adoptive father mistreated, the girl stepped forward to retaliate, but the prince suddenly flung 3 poisoned darts at her. Though she blocked 2, one struck her arm, and the black poison quickly spread through her body. The man was shocked that the prince would use poison against civilians, but the prince declared, if the man wanted the antidote, he had to be conscripted into military service, and the girl would be sent to the prince's manor as a slave. Holding back his fury, the man helped his daughter to rest, then stepped forward to confront the prince himself. But the prince refused to fight. He only wanted the girl for his amusement. He summoned 2 swordsmen to capture the man, and ordered the girl tied up and delivered to his estate. As they were about to strike, the man made a sudden move that made the prince realize this was no ordinary man. In truth, the man who roamed from town to town performing with his adopted daughter was once the famed sword god. 18 years ago, he had been framed by the 4th prince. His pregnant wife was taken, and he was thrown into a river to die. He survived after drifting for 7 days and nights. Rescued by a wandering girl, he raised her as his own, and now came to New York seeking his lost wife and child. His only clue was a jade pendant engraved with both his and his wife's names. To his shock, during the earlier scuffle, he spotted that same pendant on the prince. Before he could speak, the prince grabbed the girl and demanded the man hand over the jade. At that moment, a royal carriage arrived. The voice of the royal consort rang out in anger at the prince. The man looked up and saw that the woman inside was his long-lost wife, and the young prince was their biological son, separated 18 years ago. The man said nothing, quietly swapped the jade pendant, and returned it to the prince. But no one expected that after leaving, the prince secretly ordered their arrest. The man did not resist, knowing that only by entering the prince's estate could he reunite with his wife and son. Meanwhile, the royal consort examined the jade and noticed the swap. Stunned, she ordered a search for the 2 at once, but they were already gone. The prince lied, telling her the pair had left the city. What none of them knew was that during their earlier confrontation, the governor had been observing everything from the shadows. Under orders from the emperor, he had discovered that the 4th prince had falsely claimed credit by killing innocents, and the man was the only surviving witness. Now, all forces were converging on the prince's residence. That night, noticing her son hadn't come to greet her, the consort asked the servants where he had gone. Upon learning he had gone to the dungeon, she rushed after him. Along the way, she ran into the patrol commander. She urgently asked where the father and daughter had gone, only to be told that the prince had locked them in the royal dungeon himself.